Hello, welcome to BuddyDevelopers once again, and in this video we're going to see one of the Geodirectory add-on, and we are picking the custom post type add-on here. We'll see in detail what this add-on do and how to configure, and in what cases, like why and when we need this add-on. So let's begin. So here I already activated this plugin called Geodirectory Custom Post Type, and whenever you activate this plugin you will go in the Geodirectory settings, and there you will see a new tab called post types. You can basically define a new post type here. So by default, as you know, that Geodirectory have a business or a places CPT as the default, and on the top you can define your own new CPTs. So I will go and create a new CPT here, and I will keep the CPT name to be this, and slug will be always in small case. So order of CPT is like where you need the CPT, here or the top order or anywhere. So like you can define the order of the CPT. So let's define it 3 for example, and then here is the default image which you can set. So suppose if a listing does not have any event, so the listing will have a default image that you have set here. And then there is this menu icon, which will be an icon of your CPT. So there are a few predefined one which you can use. So if you have any custom one, then yeah, I will provide a filter in the description which you can use to customize this icon. So for now, let's keep it this for example. Then you have the option to disable comment for the CPT, disable rating, and if you want to enable only single rating per user, so then you can enable this thing. If you want to disable the favorite thing or disable the front end ad, so nobody, if you disable this setting, then nobody will be able to add a new post from the front end. Only admin will be able to add the post in this category, in this CPT. So if you want something like that, then you can use this setting. And is event post type. So if you check this setting, then as you know that event CPT is little bit different than other CPTs, because events, as you know that event have some start date, end date, recurring event, and then there are lots of things. So if you click on this, then your entire CPT will get converted into a event type CPT, where you will have those date and other special field that are developed for only event type CPTs. So there is that. And then you have this feature where you can decide that whether you want to keep the author of the disease. For example, our CPT is disease, so author of the disease to be public or not, and author's favorite. So if you want to enable and disable this feature, then you can do these things. So here I will give it a label, and this is to override the SEO field. As you already know that in the previous video I have explained this thing, like if you want to do some SEO stuff, then Geodirectory have provided a title and meta setting in the journal tab where you can do these things. But if you want to override those SEO field, the title and meta description field for this particular CPT, only for this particular CPT, then you can define those things here. And this is very special, like maybe you already know, if you have watched my previous video, then you know this thing, that in the journal section you have the pages where we have already defined few predefined a few templates of Geodirectory, and we have selected a targeted bit for those. So these are like these are default page templates of Geodirectory. So GD detail is the default detail page template that will be loaded on the single page of every CPT, and this is the archive and archive item page template. And right now, if you keep it like this, then they will be applied for all the CPTs of Geodirectory. So you doesn't matter if it is business, itinerary, or event. These three pages, for example, these three pages will work on all these CPTs. So they are like, default page template for all the CPTs of Geodirectory. But for example, if you are creating dishes and you want a different look for your dishes CPT than compared to the business CPT, so in that case you can create a new page, and maybe you can name it like, single dishes template or anything, and then you can select those template here. So I'm keeping it like this for now, just the default thing. And if you have a real estate type CPT, then you have these field, you can select those. And linked post setting, this is one of the awesome feature of this add-on, custom post type add-on, where you can link to CPTs. So for example, you have a hospital CPT, and you have a doctor CPT. So a doctor could work in hospital, so they, if you want to link those two CPT, then this field is very much helpful, where you can define, a field that will be used in a linked, that will be automatically copied in a linked post. So as you can see, read here, save post type first to select field. So I will just, keep it like this and just save change. And here, there you go, you can see that this post type has been created. And in the custom field section, you can basically create a new field for this particular CPT. So as you have already seen all these thing in my previous videos. If you haven't watched them, then you can go back in the series and check my existing videos, and there you will find the entire detail about this custom field section, sorting, tabs, journal, and all these things. And now most of the beginner user of Geodirectory, they have a query like, okay, we have created this new CPT, but how user will add a listing for this particular CPT from the front end? It is very easy. You just have to go in the appearance, and then in the menu here in the Geodirectory endpoint, you will see all the Geodirectory custom menus. So here you have option to add dishes. Let's go in the front end and refresh the page, and there you go, you have the option to add a new dish. So if you will see it closely, guys, there is no difference between add listing page and add dishes page. As you can see the URL, just check the URL. So there is nothing different, just the listing post type equal to GD dishes here, and here you will see GD places. So let's go in the setting and create few fields. I will create some fields, so I will just divide it into steps. Let's save these things and just refresh the front end add listing page. There you go. You may be seeing something, something different here. Your add listing page got converted into a stepwise form. Isn't that cool? So it is because I also have one more plugin active called Geodirectory Stepwise Add Listing Form. You can download this add-on from here, BuddyDevelopers products, and then you have the stepwise form. I've kept it $30 for now, which is on sale, so you can download it as soon as you can. There is a journal, and a common question has been asked by many Geodirectory customers, and I have seen that most of the time they are confused between category and CPT. So they often ask like why and when to create a new CPT. What's the difference between CPT and a category? Why CPT? Why not a category? So I just want to simplify this entire query in two different cases. So most probably you will get it there. Let's suppose you are creating a listing site where you want to create a list of all the lawyers in your city, and you also want to create a list of all the doctors in your CPT, and you want to keep these two data types in one particular site. So in this case, where your data types are not related with each other anyhow, like the custom field that you may going to create for lawyers, most probably they will not be useful for doctors, and the field that you may require for doctors will not be useful in lawyers. So this is the case, like when you are creating a site with a two different data type, where you think the data will not be similar for those two different data types. To deal with such cases, you have to create a new CPT, or you can create a new CPT for them. One CPT for lawyer, one CPT for doctor, and then you can create a separate field for each of them. And it will also help you to segregate those in a two different way, like you can create a different layout for doctors and different archive and detail page layout for lawyers. Also a CPT will help you to keep them separate, so that you can export the data, import the data anytime you want for doctors and lawyers separately. So this is the plus point of CPT, and this is the case where you need a CPT. Let's suppose you are creating a CPT called dishes, and inside dishes you have non-veg, you have veg dishes, and inside veg and non-veg also you have several different kind of dishes like Italian, Indian, French, or whatever. But at the end, if you will see, they all are dishes. So here, in such cases where your data type, even though they are different, but the data that you may require for both the data type will be same, then in that case you don't need a new CPT. You just keep those data in one CPT and create a common custom field for all of them and divide them into different categories. So that's it for today. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and also do subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to stay updated with upcoming Geodirectory videos. And also I have added a link in the description of my new plugin called Geodirectory Add Listing Stepwise Form, which will help you to convert your Geodirectory Add Listing form into a stepwise form. So pretty good plugin, so you can just check it out if you want to.